Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my humble home, my humble casa in Livingston, Montana. Okay, I got some more information, if you will, that I want to share about grizzly bears. Now, if you're not interested in this stuff or you don't think I know what I'm talking about, I suggest you go watch a movie file even more boring than what I'm trying to create here. Okay, now listen. This capture software that I'm using right now, I'm going to minimize it, which doesn't have any bearing on what you're watching. And I'm going to bring up my email program because I've got an email from one of my subscribers, and I'm going to address what's in that email, okay? It's just that simple. So hang on. Okay, I got the capture software minimized, and I'm going to bring up this email. Okay, this email comes to me from a person by the name of Pat in Indiana. Now, Pat and Pat's companion apparently are in love with the state of Montana and camping here and have some concerns about grizzly bears and different things like this, which is all well and good. I'm glad, because you'd be surprised the amount of people that come stumbling up here into the state of Montana and do not give a second thought to these two words called grizzly bears and end up paying for it because they don't think that they're a reality or they're a nice little teddy bear or these are real nice creatures. These are not nice creatures. These are some of the meanest creatures on four legs. It's just that simple. But anyway, okay, let me get on here with this email. I wanted to just answer in a video like this because I hate typing, okay? Pat, you're going to have to forgive me. I don't like typing long-winded emails. Okay. Hi, Jim. Me and my partner have decided before we go disperse camping. I'm not exactly sure where disperse camping is, Pat, but that doesn't make any difference. As long as you know what you're doing. In grizzly country for about a week. Before we leave, we want to practice drills of what we do if we were sleeping and we hear a bear outside at night. Okay, Pat, this is all well and good, but I don't really want to say you're wasting your time, but you're wasting your time because there's some basic things that you need to know. Okay, right off the get-go, I was born and raised in the state of Montana. I've spent a lot of time out in the bush. I've spent a lot of time hunting and fishing by myself and blah, 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 blah. Okay, one of the main things that you want to do if you're going to come up here all the way to Montana and go backpacking or camping or tent camping or whatever have you, the whole idea is to enjoy yourself. Because if you spend all your time running around freaked out about grizzly bears and stuff like that, I got news for you. You're not going to be enjoying yourself. Because the simple fact of the matter is, grizzly bears in the state of Montana were on the endangered species for the longest time. We just didn't have a lot of them, but they made a comeback in the last 20 years or so. Now, we've got, maybe, a few too many grizzly bears. It's not like the state of Montana is completely swarming with grizzly bears, but if you're in this mountainous country, in this back country, you need to be concerned about this thing called the silver-tipped grizzly bear. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But the number one thing, Pat, that I'm trying to tell you to do is enjoy yourself, okay? Go out into the woods with confidence because here it is. Mankind, for the most part, has dominion. For the most part. Has dominion or dominance, if you will, over most animals on this planet. Now, this doesn't apply to great big sharks, of course, or whales or elephants or whatever have you, but for the most part. Out here, especially in the Northwest and in Alaska and Canada and like that, for the most part, as a veteran and as somebody like myself that knows how to handle firearms and knows how to defend myself, I have dominion over a freaking grizzly bear. I mean, but you got to have this mindset. Because if you don't have this mindset, don't even talk to me, okay? I'm not saying that, Pat, to offend you, but I take this stuff very seriously because there's a lot of people that come up to Montana that don't take these two words, grizzly bears, very serious, and they think they're just like little teddy bear kind of like things that they can pet or whatever have you. I got news for you. These grizzly bears are some of the meanest things the animals that you've ever seen on four legs. It's just that simple. And the thing about a grizzly bear, what the number one thing is they're unpredictable. You don't know what they're going to do. That's the main thing. That's why one of the rules, I put out a video on all that stuff, by the way, guys, but one of the main things when you're up in the woods or whatever, have you backpacking, doing whatever, is a no-no when it comes to grizzly bears is surprising them. They don't like to be surprised. It'll spook them. It'll cause them to charge you. Okay, but let's move on here. I'm getting bogged down. We figure one of us will have a gun ready and we will go out the tent back we'll go out the tent back to back with super bright flashlights. Maybe the lights will make the bears flee. Well, I know what you're saying, but personally myself, you ain't going to have enough time to be messing around with a lot of stuff when it comes to these grizzly bears, And one thing I would probably be shy away from, I'd use a flashlight to try to locate the bear and everything, but using that for protection, like if you're going to blind the bear, grizzly bears don't have that good of eyesight anyway, and chances are you're just going to piss that bear off. See, everybody gets everything all haywire here. The number one thing that you need to know when it comes to grizzly bears is just this simple. Have respect. And we're going to get to that here in a minute. Have respect for these animals, but also go out into the woods and enjoy yourself, enjoy your camping trip with confidence. Right off the get-go here. Okay, let's move on. Okay. I'm just thinking if we're back to back and one has a gun pulled and the other one needs to have their gun in a holster or whatever, because in such a scary situation back to back, not a good idea to have both pulled. Okay, I probably read that all wrong, Pat, but I know what you're saying. I like a hair. Getting back to back or whatever you're worried about, you have got no guarantee if that bear's going to be coming at you from the side, from the back, from the front, or whatever have you. And one of the best, okay, say I think you're a tent camper from the correspondence that you've done with me, okay? One of the very best things, Pat, that you and your partner can do is keep a clean camp. Keep your food in airtight containers. Keep your food locked up in your car or your pickup or whatever you got there. And don't have any refuse laying around like beer cans, eggshells, bacon rind, any of this kind of nonsense. Because bears can smell human food and all that garbage or whatever have you for in excess of a mile. Keep a clean camp. Rule number 1. Okay? Let's see. Now, what else we got going here? Also, if we see a bear coming towards us and we think we need to shoot one, we'd yell something like bear charging and one would hit the ground so the other one had space to shoot. Yes, sometimes during a charge, remember I told you guys, anybody that's paid attention, sometimes the grizzly bear will do what they call a bluff charge. They'll charge, but they don't follow through with the charge. It's a bluff charge, okay? Don't ask me why they do it. The animal kingdom, hey, but during a charge, if you're being charged by a grizzly bear, sometimes, jumping up and down and waving your arms and yelling bear real loud or like that can stop them. But In my way of thinking, if you're in the middle of this kind of nonsense and a bear is already committed to charge, guess what? Your ass is in a sling, okay? Let me just put it to you that way. There ain't no getting out of this deal. What you want to do is prevent this stuff before it happens. But I know a lot of people out there saying, well, we don't know what the bears are. Blah, blah, blah. Well, I tell you what, you're going to have to learn about this kind of stuff. Because when I'm in bear country and I start cutting a lot of sign, a lot of bear droppings, i.e. scat, and different things like that, I just get gone. It saved me all these years from never being attacked. And I've had a few encounters in my day, but I've always been able to get out of them. Okay. But one of the things with this grizzly bear is be prepared and all that stuff, but don't overthink this deal. Because you might have to react on instinct, not something that you played out before you hit the woods. Pat, I'm advising you not to do this. I'm advising you to use your common sense. Okay, we'll move on here. Okay. Hope this doesn't sound ridiculous, but if you're possibly going to be in grave danger, we need a plan and practice. Now, see, that's where me and you kind of, you could plan and play games and go out in your yard and scamper around like if you're getting attacked by a grizzly bear all day long, but that's really not going to help you out too awful much. I'm going to tell you, Pat, now pay attention here. I carry a Maxpedition side, like a mail. It looks like a big mail pouch. I've got lots of videos on this. I carry a Glock 20 right there in that Maxpedition. It's a Maxpedition Jumbo Versapack. There's a pocket that my hands are just inches away from my Glock 20 at all times. At all times when I'm alpine hiking, when I'm up in these mountains. I'm still up there enjoying myself, but my hand is resting right on that pack as I'm walking along. Now here's another thing. I've got a Glock 20, but recently I've acquired another piece of equipment. A lot of people have wanted me to do more videos on this, but I get around. I've got some of my subscribers have wrote and told me they don't like gunplay. They like me and they like what I do, but they don't like my guns or knives or any of that. Well, I can't help it. I do what I do. But here's another piece of armament that I got that I could eat. I just acquired this not too long ago, within the last year. This is something I could pack for grizzly bear protection on the order of firearms, besides my Glock 20, which is a 10 millimeter auto, by the way. But here it is, right here, laying on the bed. This right here, look at this scary little thing. This right here is a Remington TAC 14. This is a 12 gauge shotgun. These are legal, by the way. It's called a TAC 14. Now, I got rounds in here, but there's not one in the chamber, and I don't want to go jacking around with this thing. I can't really see what I'm doing because the email's in my way here. I'm hoping you can see this. But one of the most lethal things when it comes to grizzly bears is a 12 gauge shotgun. Why? Because you can just not have to be that steady of a shot and get some lead down range and stop that bear from charging at you. That's the whole deal. Man, okay. The most lethal load that I know of for a 12 gauge, and by the way, what caliber is 12 gauge? Can anybody tell me? It's 72 caliber. That right there is a big slug, okay? A big hole. The best loads that you can put in a shotgun like this is you you put in what they call a Foster round, a 1 ounce leaded slug. They're called Foster rounds, rifled. A 1 ounce lead slug. The next round you put in, I like to use number 3 birdshot because it's pretty big birdshot. I stagger that. I put in a lead slug round, then buckshot, then lead slug, then buckshot, like that. This only holds 5, but 5 is good enough. You know, because up close, this is one of the scariest firearms that you've ever laid your eyes on. It's that simple. The TAC 14, Remington TAC 14, sawed-off shotgun. They're legal. You can buy them. The retail price of this guy right here is about $400, I think. I actually got this on a trade. I traded a Benelli tactical shotgun for this, straight across, from a friend of mine. I got a YouTube video on it, several YouTube videos. But this is one nasty piece, and I would not be afraid to pack this up into grizzly bear country. I don't want to have to use this thing. I don't want to have to shoot a grizzly bear, but trust me, I will if I have to, if my life is threatened. Okay. Well, I hope I got that all squared around. But for right now, for the most part, I carry a Glock 20 with 46 rounds. I got 16 in the piece in my Glock, and then I carry 2 extra clips. There's 15 rounds each in those clips. That's 46 rounds. Now, here the other day, I was blabbering about that. Now, I made a terrible mistake. I said, I can get all 46 rounds off in 30 seconds. That was when I used to carry 2 clips. I carried, when I used to carry, 1 extra clip, but now I carry 2 and then 1 in the piece. So I could go through all 3 of those clips, 46 rounds, but it would take me about a minute and 15 seconds, and that's what they call spray and pray, not aiming very well. That's not a good idea, by the way. If you can't hit something, you're sure not going to kill it. But there you are. There's a Remington TAC 14. That's one solution for these grizzly bears. Okay, let me move on here. All right. I know we make lots of noise when out, but at night you're sleeping. Yeah, I know. But, bears, they're kind of a nocturnal creature. But if they're out roaming around at night, it's because they're hungry. That's one of the best things you do is keep your camp cleaned up, And also, Pat, you drove me and was talking about somebody was telling you, stringing a rope around your tent and a bunch of crap like this. I got something even better for you. Go down to Wally World or Kmart's or wherever have you, or your favorite sporting goods store, and get some cheap. You can get like 1,000 yards of 20-pound test monofilament fishing line, or 30 or 40-pound test. Get some cheap stuff for you get like 1,000 yards for like $5. Just take this monofilament and string it around your camp, or string it around your tent through the trees, and take those little bells that you can buy that people hang on the end of their fishing poles, those little tiny cowbells. Those little bells that they hang when they're bank fishing. They hang them on the end of the fishing poles. When they get a bite, the little bell is ringing. I don't know if you've ever thought of that one, but that's if you're that paranoid, well, that's a lot better than stringing rope and all that other stuff. I had to laugh when you told me that in an email. What do you think you're going to do, Pat? You going to go out there and lasso one of these bears, are you? I'm just kidding, You got to use some common sense here. You got to enjoy yourself. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I think you're getting just a little bit paranoid here, but I'm glad that at least you're concerned. Okay, let me move on here. Okay, this part right here, pay attention, folks. It says, I've listened to Timothy Treadwell. I know who Timothy Treadwell is, and for you guys that don't know, he got killed by a grizzly bear, I don't know, about 10 years ago. He lived up in Alaska, and for 13 years he used to go to this state park or whatever. It was called the Grizzly Sanctuary, the Grizzly Maze. And it was a place where there was lots of grizzly bears that inhabited there. Every summer he spent 13 summers in and amongst these grizzly bears because he was trying to protect them. He was trying to keep hunters away from them. This guy got this crazy idea up in his head that he was a spiritual brother with a grizzly bear. Nonsense there, Tim. You paid for that one. See, Tim, I'm going to tell you how come Timothy Treadwell... Okay, well, I got to get this story right. Where he made his mistake is he was trying to protect the grizzly bears, but he didn't. He forgot to protect himself. He could have done what he was doing on his mission, whatever have you, but he should have armed himself just in case one of them bears turned on him. Just because you got a pistol on your side doesn't mean you got to use it. Doesn't mean you got to be out waving it around, yahoo, and all that. I never do that with my Glock. I don't know how many people I've had standing right before me, talking to me, and I'm standing there with this, this big old veteran, Versa pack on. They don't even know that I've got a Glock 20 in there. Anyway. But Timothy Treadwell, that was one. To me, it was like he would go out and live amongst the grizzly bears, and yes, he was filming them and doing all that. And I know he went around and talked to kids in school, and he was all about bear conservation and all that. But the biggest problem with this guy is he got too close to them bears. He trusted them. You cannot trust a wild animal like that. You don't know what they're going to do. And this guy found it out the hard way because in the end he got attacked and he actually got ate. And so did his girlfriend. Now what kind of nonsense is that? That would have never happened if Timothy Treadwell would have armed himself. To me, it was like he was thumbing his nose at regular society and the Fish and Game Department up there in Alaska, or whatever his political view was. Well, if you're going to put your life in that kind of danger, what are you going to gain? What did he... The only thing that he proved with what happened with him was the fact that these bears are as dangerous as I say they are. They're unpredictable. You don't know what they're going to do. And he found this out the hard way. And that's another thing, Pat. That recording, that YouTube recording that you sent to me, I have followed Timothy Treadwell. I followed his whole life and what he was doing for quite a while. I know the whole story and everything. His girlfriend, well, he had several girlfriends because he wasn't married, but one of his girlfriends was given charge of that camera footage. There was no camera footage. It was just audio because I think there was a lens or something that was on that camera when this happened, when he got attacked. And there was some audio footage of this bear attacking and eating Timothy. I listened to that, and I do not believe that that's authentic at all. I just don't buy it. I don't, because his girlfriend said she would never ever release that audio recording of him getting ate by that grizzly bear to the public. And as far as I know, she never did. So but I listened very, very closely, and there was too many sound anomalies. Look, I've been fooling around with audio and visual for a lot of years. And that audio, I no more trust that Pat, the man in the moon. Somebody was looking for hits. That was a clickbait deal there. Okay, let's move on. But I hope you understand what I say about Timothy Treadwell. I didn't hate the guy. I thought he was very brave for what he was doing, but I also thought he was very stupid. Should have armed himself. Simple as that. Okay. I already went from the link. I'm from northern Indiana. I think I've already established that, Pat. We don't even have poisonous snakes here. We got rattlesnakes in the state of Montana, Pat, by the way. Here, and I saw a cottonmouth as a kid. at the creek and blah, blah, blah and everything. And okay. And Pat goes on to say, I feel so privileged to have seen the beauty out there. Well, come back, Pat, but come back with what this big man right here, Jim Bourne, is telling you. I'm telling you to come back and drink in Montana with some courage, but know what you're doing. Follow me? Well, anyway, whatever. I'm here in northern Indiana. The summers are very humid. We have low humidity here. I'm sure you know that, okay? And there are briars all over the forest floor, I know, making walking unpleasant. I know about those things. Briars in this country, we call them cockleburs. We got cockleburs here, but they're, whatever. They don't, Anyway, so you don't have, where you're at, you don't have pleasant experiences like you do here in Montana. I get it. I understand what you're saying. Okay. Usually the other seasons, the briars aren't so sharp and, wearing long sleeves and pants and all that. Okay, and Pat goes on to say you love my channel. I don't know how you can do that. I'm not a very big YouTuber. I don't do the ad thing. I never try to con people into smashing the subscribe button and ringing the bell or whatever I figure people like what I do, fine. If they don't, that's fine too. Because I'm not trying to make any money here, and I dang sure ain't trying to get popular. I just do what I do. And like that. So, my very best advice is for you to understand about this playing dead stuff that I've already addressed. If you're under a grizzly bear attack, one of the very best things that you can do if you're not armed or you don't want to carry a TAC-14 or a Glock 20 or any of this kind of stuff is fall down, play dead, that kind of stuff. I already covered that, like that, because, you're not going to outrun these bears. And then remember what I said about keeping a clean camp and all of that kind of stuff. And if you ever do get under a grizzly bear attack, don't try to run. They'll run you down. They're just mean that way, And when you're going through the woods, there's another thing there's several things you can do. Some people up in this country, they'll actually wear a whistle. One of these cheap $5 Kmart kids whistles. And they'll blast off with a whistle once in a while. Actually, this last summer, I was up on Livingston Peak, and I ran into this old couple coming down off the peak, or coming down the trail, and the elderly woman, they were a little bit older than me, I believe, but I seen she had on her backpack, her strap right here, she had a little radio, and I could hear them coming down the trail. I heard that radio going, and I'm sitting back in the brush waiting for these people to go by me, and, I didn't jump out and scare them, but I made sure they seen me, and I said hello and addressed them and everything. Anyway, pretty soon I looked at that woman and I said, well, what do you got there? Radio checking the weather? Because some people get real paranoid that they might get snowed on, hailed on, rained on, whatever. And she goes, oh, no, that's for the bears. She says, I'm just making noise. She had a little radio. Are you hearing me, Pat? Hooked onto her strap, on her, her backpacking strap. And she was, I thought, well, that's pretty smart, But, okay, getting back, there's that one incident, but these whistles, you can get these $5 whistles. Every once in a while, cut loose with that whistle. And there's some people that'll take these bells, like these little bells you buy, kids' bells, baby bells, these little cowbells or whatever, and they'll tie them onto their hiking boots. So when you're walking along, you got da-ding, 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 and you're making noise. Because like I say, one of the biggest things that'll cause a grizzly bear, one of the worst mistakes that you can make as a hiker or a camper is to run up on a grizzly bear and spook the hell out of this bear. When the bear doesn't know that you're there, that's when that bear is going to come unglued and chances are charge you. But if you're making enough noise and whatnot have you, chances are the bear, you won't even see the bear. It'll just go, okay, here comes some stupid human beings. I don't like these human beings. By the way, grizzly bears and human beings have never got along. Never. Okay, but if you make enough noise, chances are that grizzly bear will move off and you won't even know the grizzly bear was there. So, and then we got the subject of bear spray. Bear spray has gotten a lot better over the years than what it used to be. You couldn't be. 5-10 years ago, you couldn't have paid me to pack bear spray. I still don't pack bear spray. I pack my Glock 20 or that TAC 14 or whatever have you. But they've improved a lot on bear spray. It shoots out a lot further. It's a lot more potent now and all that. So if worse comes to worse and you're all hung up about firearms, I can't kill an animal, that's what kills me about people. I get freaked out about that kind of stuff. Here you got one of the meanest animals on the face of the planet. What are you going to do? Stand there and let the grizzly bear make a lunch out of you? See, that's what I'm talking about, man. You know, I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put as much lead in the air as I could possibly get if I'm under a grizzly bear attack. It's that simple. I'm going to kill that bear dead, 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 because it's wanting to kill me dead, dead, dead. You know, I don't want to. Whenever I go up in the woods, I go up in the woods with a great deal of respect. And I go up in the woods and I do what I call, I walk softly and I carry a big stick. I am not one of these guys that goes up in the woods and starts blowing whistles and doing all that. I never have. I've never felt right about doing that stuff. My screensaver kicked on here. Oh, man. Anyway, this video is way long. I'm at the end of your email there, Pat. I don't know if I helped you out here. I tried my best, and if I bored anybody out here in my audience, so be it. I can't, whatever here. Okay, let me minimize my email. Let me bring up my little encoder program, and so there we are. Well, okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for right now. I mean, this subject of grizzly bears can be kind of long-winded, but the main thing is, the best thing I can leave you with is just use common sense, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, like I'm famous or infamous for saying, we shall see you on down the trail. Take care of yourselves. And for now, adios, my friends.